What's up, YouTube? I'm back for another video. Thank you guys for all the support on the last one. The DBST video did pretty good for the, I guess, lack of production. I haven't made a video in over a month before posting that one. So today we're gonna go over decoy rigging, how I set up my decoys. This is gonna be filmed in kind of a two-part series. Today I'm gonna go over my decoys, what I'm running, these Tanglefree bags. I don't use them often, but I use them for some of my nicer higher-end decoys on long trips. If I'm gonna go hunt somewhere for 2 or 3 days at a time and whatnot. So this is the Tanglefree 12 slot bag. You can fit the battleship decoys in here, 1 in each slot, or you can fit 2 of the smaller decoys. I've put coots in here. I've put full-size canvasbacks in here. Mallards will fit, wood ducks will fit, if that's what you're into. These bags aren't quite necessary for hunting. I just use them to protect my investment. These decoys are not cheap. I believe some of my decoys with strings, weights, I run the Academy weights. I'm gonna drop a link for those too. I think they run me $18 for a dozen on the weights. Some of my Avian X decoys were $110 for a half dozen. These decoys, man, they get up over $30 a duck if you do it right. Some of those guys with the mallard flocked heads, they're spending $35, $40 a decoy. That's for weights, rigging, you know, protecting them with a bag. This bag was $120. You gotta think that stuff adds up, but it protects the paint. I don't have to repaint my decoys. I store them outside, covered, but not in the rain. So with decoys are, one, storage. Where are you gonna put them? You don't buy more decoys than what you can have room for. I mean, everybody says decoys are everything. You don't need to have a bunch of decoys. I mean, I'm probably running 80, 90 late season. I'll run 3 dozen, 4 dozen early season. The second thing would be clips. These carabiners are game changer. I run Texas rigs. The Texas rigs, you know, you can get out there and wade. You can walk through them. You can pick them up in one string and carry them around with you. You cannot have enough carabiners. These things are $2 or $3 a piece. No excuse to have at least 5 or 6 extra, because you can lose them. Or if you're putting a different spread somewhere else, say you got a buddy out there hunting with you, he's got another blind, you can give him some. You can give him a carabiner too. As you can see here, I have 5 dozen, maybe more in this. Some of them have a little bit more than a dozen on each rig. But what you can do, most guys, they take them and they clip the decoys. Then you gotta pull them out. This is a great system. This is 18 coots. 18 coots with 6-ounce weights. That is not light. And take it, run it back through, put my carabiner on. This is like my second favorite way to carry decoys. The other way to carry a decoy, slotted bag, and we're just gonna throw it up on the deck like this. Stuff your decoys in. I can get 3 of these along the front, or I can get 6 along the front going sideways. Then I've got plenty of floor space for guys to ride. And I don't have to worry about tripping over a decoy or tripping over a line if I'm running bags. But if I've got 2 boats, let's say I've got one boat carrying the guys to the blind and I got my boat full of decoys, I'm running a decoy barge. I'll throw as many decoys as I can down to the bottom, hook them up on the grab bar, and then I'll throw these on and ratchet strap over the top of them. It's the only way I found to do it. Some guys get those tall net bags. Not a huge fan of those. I feel like having your decoys rubbing all in there it's hard. I just grab the high string up, unclip it, and then I come to the back, or I'm gonna go off the front deck depending on if I wanna walk across the front on the side. Feeling brave. But that's how I do it. In this boat, I have, let's just say, a dozen canvasbacks, 18 coots. I've got an assortment of other divers. I've got 18 redheads. I know for sure 18 redheads on the small bodies. I've got about a dozen ringnecks. I've got, let's see here, got some golden eyes, some bluebill. I run diver spreads. I run the big long line sometimes. Sometimes I throw them in the big ball or a J or a U. It all depends. You have to look at your weather, your wind, your rain, where your blind is. If you're on a point, do you have bufflehead in your spread? I don't own any bufflehead decoys. I believe I can get a bufflehead to decoy in on my other long lines. You know, if you have a coot, you can throw a few coots out on the side and the bufflehead will come in on that coot. The reason why I run coots is because the coots are black. They show up really well on the water surface. That's why we run the coots. Down in the saltwater marsh and the estuaries, they show up really well. The coots are there. I've seen them, I've heard them, they love to play. They run around, do whatever they like, do as they please. You know, the biggest thing I've seen is coots are a confidence decoy. You know, the bluebills will come in, the redheads will come in on the coots, and they see coots mixed in. They feel like there's a lot of confidence, especially when you're blinded in well. You can shoot some ducks. It's game changing, man. Let's see here. Let's go over what brands I run. This is a Higdon decoy. I bought this pack. There was 6 on a mixed diver spread. They were, I want to say at the time, $60. It does need to be cleaned off. It's a little dusty. So I'm going to clean these off before season. Let's see here. I've got some Avian X coots. I love these. They've got the bronze on the butt. A little bit of bronze on the butt right here. Doesn't have this much of a coloration on the beak versus the, I believe this is the Game Winner brand. Oh, these are the Higdon brand. They have more of a wider nose, the wider beak. It's going to show up well on the water. I don't believe in buying all the same decoys. I mix them up. I have Avian, I have Higdon, got the Game Winners. I've got a few, what are these ringnecks? Flambeaus. Those were my dad's old Flambeau ringneck decoys. A lot of ducks have been shot in North Florida and South Georgia over those ringnecks. I can guarantee that. Here's some of my redheads. These are the Higdon redheads. It's a hen right here. You can kind of get a feel for the size of a smaller decoy versus this smaller canvasback. They're pretty much the same, but the canvasback's a larger duck. But here is a battleship. There's a lot more presence on the water. You know, it takes almost 2 of these to get the same amount on the water. Here's a ringneck. On the Texas rig, they just slide back and forth. So I can take this, pull it out, pull it through. Again, this is not my favorite way to rig them up, but it works for me. Boom, just like that. This is an older canvasback decoy I've got. He's been sitting outside for a little while. He's been shot a few times, but look at that. It's a lot of water. This adds a lot of weight to your boat during hunting season, guys. I would suggest either drilling a hole in the butt and letting them dangle before you put them back in the boat when you're done hunting, or some guys will take a closed cell foam. It's not really a great option. I've done it before. I've sunk decoys, and I don't feel like having to go chase decoys down when they're sinking from in the blind. Sometimes you'll put a decoy spread out an hour and a half before you actually start hunting. That's not a good way to go about your day. So I've seen guys on Facebook especially, they'll take these decoys and they will fiberglass them, and they'll try to repair the body as best as they can so they can get more use out of this decoy. I mean, this decoy is older than I am. Let's just be honest. It's not trash. It holds a lot of sentimental value to me, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to repurpose this decoy for hunting unless I absolutely had to. I just kind of keep this around for my dog, you know, at least he knows what it is and what it looks like. He doesn't hunt because he's had an injury when he was younger, but it's a great tool to show people, you know, use them at events. On the Ducks Unlimited committee, they like to see these still kind of hanging around. Even though it's a plastic decoy from the 90s, you know, that's almost 30 years old, over 30 years old, depending on what year Dad bought this. So, you know, keep some treasures like this around. This guy was, you know, decently well maintained, and I'm sure there's somebody out there on Facebook that could restore this to 100%. That's just not gonna work for me on hunting. So let's compare that to a new one. I think decoys have came a pretty long way. Got more color, got better structure on the face, on the eyes, you can see them better. But these ducks, they're smart, man. They know what a decoy is. I think we're gonna wrap that video up for right now. We're gonna go do some mock hunts. When it's time to start scouting, I'm gonna show you guys how I hunt. We're going to go out and set up a spread, me and another guy. We're gonna see if the birds come in decoy, and we're gonna film it all for you guys so you can learn how to hunt not only diver ducks, but we're gonna do some puddle ducks too. We're gonna go out and find a slough, and we're gonna try to get birds to decoy on us on a mock hunt before season starts. It's 100% practice. We're not gonna do any hunting. We're gonna go out and get birds to see these ducks on the water, and we're gonna react and see how they react to our spread so we can do more studying, more understanding of how the birds work, what they're like. Let's say they don't like the ringnecks down at the coast. We'll take them out. The best way I've found to go about decoys is to try new things. You know, if you do the same thing over and over, it's called being crazy. I had a motorcycle go by. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this video up there. Like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. I'm gonna try to address them in another video. I don't like just typing out comments. I like to see what you guys have to say. We're gonna make videos. We're all in here for this together. Thanks, guys.